Hey, 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 everybody. How y'all doing? How you doing? How your mama doing? Oh my goodness, how are you? You guys remember about a week ago I did the video talking about new beginnings and letting you guys know that I missed you. And I asked you guys to comment some things you wanted me to talk about, which you guys did that, and I'm appreciative of that. And to show my appreciation, because you know what? If I had just did what I initially said, just asking what you guys wanted to talk about, then I was going to try to develop some content around that. Well, people had so many different things that they wanted to ask. It was kind of all over the place. So when I was trying to put together some content to do some videos, some of these things I will be doing some videos on. But I said, you know what? I'm going to show my appreciation for absolutely every single person who asked a question. And I am going to do a Q&A video. Okay, so I'm going to run through this list and I'm going to answer everybody, okay? Because you guys took the time to comment, and you gave your energy here. And so we're gonna do a little exchange here, and I'm gonna share that love and give that love and energy right back, okay? So I'm gonna run through the list of those who actually had questions on that particular video in the comment section, and I'm gonna run through it and I'm gonna answer them. Okay, so we're just gonna make it a Q&A, and I'm gonna just run through the list. Let's see here. For those of you who just came on and said, hey girl, I appreciate that too. I love you back. But for those who had questions, let's get into it. So I'm not going to go through every single person who just said, hey. I'm telling you right now, hey girl, hey. But for everybody else, I'm going to go through the questions. So first, we have Tuna Tail says, you're the best. Your videos have been a huge help. Thank you. I would love for you to talk about how to deal with anxiety during arguments. Okay. So one thing to be aware of when it comes to anxiety during arguments, well, there's different perspectives, right? Different levels of consciousness that we can look at everything from. Now, we're gonna start a little lower and go higher, okay? So from one level, okay, kind of a baseline level of consciousness, we have to understand that anxiety can come from a perception, first of all, about conflict. Meaning, if we have a perception that conflict is wrong or bad, or in some way we don't have a healthy perspective in that, conflict happens, right? It's a part of life. It's bound to happen. And conflict, it does not mean that something's always off, wrong, or dysfunctional. If you believe that it does, it's going to give you more anxiety anytime conflict comes up, because you're going to have this underlying subconscious belief going that you shouldn't be having conflict and something's wrong if you are. A more healthy perspective of conflict is to understand that conflict is natural, and it can actually be, as long as it's happening in a healthy way, it can actually be a sign of a healthy relationship. Why do I say that? Well, because sometimes relationships with no conflict are having no conflict because both people are not feeling comfortable enough to say what they honestly and truly think and feel. See, no two people are honestly thinking and feeling the same thing. You're never going to be on the same page with somebody all the time. And this is where conflict comes from. Okay, so if both people are being honest and the relationship is safe enough for people to be honest about what they really think and what they really feel, there will be conflict. Okay? So if you have an appropriate understanding of conflict, that can ease some of that anxiety, because you understand that this doesn't mean that something's wrong or something bad is happening. Okay? And we're just talking about, now that's a baseline understanding, talking about normal, regular arguments or conflict, right? I'm not talking about this really crazy dysfunctional stuff. Okay, what do I mean by that? What is crazy dysfunctional stuff? You know, stuff where it gets into name calling, belittling, versus two people maybe even in a heated tone, like passionate about what they're saying, expressing their viewpoint and it's stating what they believe and how they feel. Okay? Yeah, so that's that. Now, if we look at it from an even higher perspective, anxiety, well, we got to understand from a higher perspective what conflict actually is. Now, from a place of really being aware, right, where you're really in your consciousness, you're really aware, not unconscious arguments, but when you're really aware, you don't have arguments, okay? When you're really, really deep in your awareness. Why is that? Okay? It is because what conflict and arguments truly are is basically people's ego beliefs and ideas bumping heads. Okay? You cannot have conflict from outside of the ego self. Okay? So why did I just say that conflict is a natural thing, it's not bad? Well, I said that because everybody is on a journey evolving in their levels of consciousness. And so you're not wrong for where you are, really, ever. Okay? And even once you get to a place where you can hold awareness, you can still get pulled out of your awareness based on certain conversations and how much you're talking. Okay, so we don't want to make it a bad thing. When conflicts are occurring, you need to handle them in the most healthy way. But if we were to go from the highest level of consciousness and awareness, then we understand that the conflict is arising because of some belief in us and in the other person that are colliding. So both people are in ego space, okay? And a lot of people don't realize this, because even, I'll see people sometime where they're like having an issue with other people. Like, I'm talking about somebody who thinks of themselves as very aware, which you can't really think of yourself as very aware without being in ego. You're not as aware as you think. When you think, you're so enlightened and so aware. When you're in that space, you're already in ego. So I've seen people who perceive them, who have ego selves that see themselves as very enlightened, very highly spiritual and evolved. And then they will have conflict with someone because they'll say, well, this person is, really toxic, or this person isn't looking at whatever from a spiritual enough place, right? And they're looking at somebody else's consciousness and level of awareness as if it's not completely up to par, right? And so that's what's causing the tension in energy. But here's the thing, right? You can't even do that unless you yourself are not where you think you are. Because from that place of true awareness, when you really are consciousness, there is no judgment. So you see how it is your own belief, your own judgment, your own ego identity, and all of the things that you're identifying with that's causing you to not see this person as spiritual, and causing you to not see, to feel something about this person coming from a certain place, and then that's causing an agitation in you. Whereas when you're fully embodying that consciousness, even if you are able to observe that a person is talking to you from a place of being wrapped and in some type of program, it doesn't bother you. See, so there would be no conflict, because most likely you would bring that person up into their consciousness and more into their awareness and that still space within them. Okay? So I hope that helps on anxiety during arguments. I wanted to kind of look at it from, give you some insight on it from both levels of consciousness. Okay, so let's see here. Life of Wishes said, we talked 5 months ago on your hotline about money mindset. It was extremely helpful. I am embarking on a journey as a transformational mindset coach who utilizes ritual, routine, and mindset shifts to help my clients create the inner stability to sustain lasting changes in their lives. Any gems you have about routine, ritual, or mindset to add to my knowledge and practice would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so I would have more to add on the mindset part than the routine and ritual part, because one thing to understand is whatever coaching you're doing, and this is for anybody who's any type of coach, leader, you are going to be coming from your own level of consciousness and awareness. So you can't take anybody higher than where you are. You can't take anybody further than where you've been, right? So whatever level you're at and the routines and rituals that you find to be beneficial, there are other people who will find those things to be beneficial as well. The reason I personally don't get into a lot of routine and ritual, other than things I like to do mostly for myself, but I can tell somebody, which the main things that I like to do are like meditation, and I like singing bowls. But I don't have any real ritual behind it or anything that has to be a certain way about it. I kind of just tune into my own connection for what is necessary. Sometimes do I need to do all the singing bowls? Do I need to just focus on a certain frequency or a certain chakra or something like that? And I recommend to other people to do what is working, what feels right for them. Because it doesn't matter what routine, there's no routine, no ritual, no religion that is better than something else. Okay? We are all one. We all come from one life force energy. The Most High One, Source, God, whatever you want to call it, the universe. We all have something in us that we're all connected to, that we're all a piece of, that we're all a part of. So how one piece needs to find its way back to wholeness and how another one needs to do it, it makes me no difference. Okay? So I would say having a mindset of allowing people to, you can put out what works for you, and then people who are at that same place will resonate with that. But also understanding and having the mindset that none of it really is any better than anything else. None of it is the right way. It's all the right way. None of it's the right way, and all of it's the right way, all at the same time. Okay, because the ultimate goal is for people to reconnect with that source within themselves and reconnect with God within themselves, you know, their true selves. And it doesn't matter how they get there. It absolutely does not matter how they get there. And everybody cannot get there the same way. There's no one path. Okay, so that's the biggest thing I would probably keep in mind, you know, with starting a practice like that. So next, Naomi. Hey, Shamika, so glad you're back. Yes, 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 love. Yes. Okay, so my question is, what is happening in the world and how can we do our part to stay safe and help others? I know you made a video about cancel culture and how that was toxic, but now with these vaccine mandates sweeping across the nation, especially in certain states, I am scared. I was never scared before. I have never feared COVID simply because I don't watch the news. And I know how to take care of myself through diet and natural remedies. However, the fear got inside everyone else. And if you don't take the vaccine or dare to question it, friends are blocking you, jobs are firing you, and your access to school is being denied. How to pray that society returns to normal? Is that spiritual bypassing to turn away from it all and just focus on the positive and hope it goes away on its own? Or should I be taking a more active role by doing my part to fight it by talking about it? However, even YouTube is censoring anything they consider to be vaccine misinformation. Freedom of thought is dying and everyone is being pushed to take the vaccine as if it's the only way, when I know it's not. Seems like everyone's stuck in a matrix. So let me see. Am I delusional or are they? Either way, how can I do my part to stop all this hysteria and get back to the free world? Is me worrying about it adding to the hysteria by giving more energy to that matrix? Yes, it is. I never worried about it before. I don't fear the disease. I fear the fear that has allowed governments, workplaces, and schools to take our basic medical freedoms and personal liberties away. I fear where this is heading if we don't do something to stop it. What can I do? Okay, so you say, I'm caught between the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing, and what you give energy to grows. Okay. So here's the thing about this, okay? I definitely understand why you're teetering between these two things, right? But I think here's the big key that you're missing, and the part that's going to help you to rectify all of this. And that is what you need to be doing. See, the mistake we make, right? And is that when we're not fully connected to ourselves, or even if we are, well, we're not fully to do this, but say for instance, it is our path and it is in our truth, it is in our alignment, right? For us to have a certain stance on something. Because you have to understand that certain stances at certain times, it happens for a reason. And sometimes people are not out of alignment in what they're fighting for. Sometimes they are meant and the universe is using them to fight for something. Now, sometimes they don't recognize that what they're fighting for is not really the point. And the point is to push people more towards a certain balance, not even to obtain the thing that they think they're obtaining by fighting. But nonetheless, they're serving the universe's purpose, right? So they're still in alignment. But what happens is when people are in that alignment for themselves, they begin to project that alignment onto other people. And that is the problem. So when I feel convicted to do something, this is where I'm out of alignment and I'm disconnected. You cannot be connected to source and feel which you're always connected in a certain degree. But what I mean is in your consciousness. Your consciousness is kind of off in the bushes. When I am convicted towards something, to do something, to not do something, to say something, to not say something, and then I want other people to be in the same place I'm in, I'm the one off. Always. Every time. If you a Christian and think everybody else needs to be a Christian, you're not connected enough. You got to get more God in you. If you are, whatever, if you feel strongly against the vaccine and you think everybody else should feel that way, you're out of alignment. You're always out of alignment when you take what your convictions are and say that is what it should be for everyone. Okay? It's ego mind. It's a lower level of consciousness. So what you want to do and how you resolve this conflict, because see, you are right. See, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing, right? You said you're stuck between that and what you give energy to grows. You absolutely are stuck in between that. Why? Because which one is for you? See, that's the key. Which one is for you? See, it is true that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. What does that mean? For those who are called of the universe, to stand up about something, and then they keep going against that inner nudging within themselves that's telling them this is the way and this is what they need to say, and they're going against it. They're not serving the universal plan. They're not in alignment doing their part of what they're called to do. So they are a part of the problem. But then there's the other person. What you give energy to grows. See, not everybody is supposed to be giving energy to something. Just those who are called. So you don't judge the ones who are called. Stay in your lane. That's how you deal with the world. Stay in your lane. Stay in your alignment. Stay in your connection to God, to universe, source, and do what you're supposed to do. So are you supposed to get vaccinated? Are you supposed to not worry about that? You see, I'm not called to be in that fight. You don't hear me. I'm not going to be pushing no vaccines. I'm not about to be talking about. I don't have nothing to do with that. See, everybody wants to project onto everybody else what's right and wrong. Well, you want to know the true only right and wrong is what the universe say for you to be doing and what time it is for you. So if it's time for something for you and you're not doing it, then you're the one wrong. Okay, if it's time for you to not do something and you over there fighting for vaccine, you the one wrong. Okay, see what's happening in the world right now with all of this chaos. It is really just bringing about new levels of consciousness. It's pushing people towards higher evolution, and you know that growth and evolution only comes from contrast. It comes from the bad stuff. We need the bad stuff. Why do you think the Bible says God created good and evil? Okay, in religious texts, they talk about that. Well, why would God create evil? Because we need it. Why do we need negative things? Because that is how we evolve. Why do we see in religious texts they talk about the angels envying the humans? Why do they envy the humans? Because the humans get to come here and experience that pushback, that negativity, that evil, that contrast that pushes for the expansion. See, what we don't realize when we think that we want all this positivity and nothing to ever go wrong in the world, we don't recognize how boring that is. And what do I mean by boring? I mean, there's no growth in it. There's nothing pushing back against you. So there's only so much bliss you can enjoy before you start saying, I want to grow. I want more. I want to grow. I want to expand some type of way. See, so that's what people fail to realize. And that is the reason that this realm operates the way that it does. So when you fight back against evil and you fight back, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. Okay? Because everything is in divine order. And so you don't want to be so arrogant that you could possibly think that when you say evil shouldn't exist, you're basically saying you know better than the universe, than God, source, how this should be. Because this was created by something bigger than you, with more sense than you, more intelligence than you. And it thought that negativity, evil, bad stuff needed to exist. So your reasoning of, well, that shouldn't exist, that shouldn't be here, pushing back against everything, is just your ignorance. It's just you having a small mind and not being able to see, not having the mind of God, the mind of universe, the mind of source, where you can see it all and how it's all working together. Okay? So how do we handle, when we look at everything that's going on in the world, understand that it's serving a purpose for the people it's serving a purpose for. Okay? Some of it, you got to know you got to know your business. What's your universal business? What's your soul's business? What got something to do with you and what don't? Okay? So when it ain't your fight, you're not, because you said, is this spiritual bypassing? Look, you can't spiritual bypass nothing if you follow your spirit. You can't bypass your own soul if you stay with your own soul, what you're supposed to be doing, and mind your business. So if they over there fighting over there, like, I don't get into it. When everybody fighting about the vaccines and this and that, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Everybody is getting whatever it is that they need out of that fight. Okay, so it's not spiritual bypassing for me, because there's nothing in it for me to get. So I'm not bypassing anything. It ain't there to teach me nothing. If it was, it would be in my world. It would be in my reality. Okay? So none of that has anything to do with me. So that's how you deal with that. I hope that was helpful. Honey Biscuit. Hey, Honey Biscuit. Honey Biscuit said, are you still doing personal readings or any of the advice courses, Q&As? All right. So no personal readings. But yes, I'm still going to be having the boot camps. I'm actually planning to start having where we have 3 new ones each year, where I'm putting out a new one every 4 months. This is a Q&A right here. Yes. So that part, yes. Let's see. Okay, Maya Krisakova. I hope I didn't butcher your name. Look, my name is Shamika. Mine get butchered all the time. So I hope I didn't butcher that, my dear. So let's see. Hello, my sister. Welcome back. I feel I manifested you as the other day I listened to your older video. I love your consciousness. I am drawn to consciousness mostly. Personally, there is need mostly for love and peace. Did lots of meditating and alignment. Nature is very important. Anything that keeps soul in conscious alignment, I welcome. I thank you in advance. Okay, so when you say there is need mostly for love and peace, here's the key. I'm going to give you the big ticket, and you can stay in alignment and fully conscious with just this information right here. This is all you need. When you say there's a need mostly for love and peace, no. Love and peace is already there. Consciousness is already there. The need is for no distractions. So really all you need to do is stop being distracted. Or when you find yourself distracted, just redirect yourself right on back to that alignment with self, where all of that stuff already exists. There's no need to seek peace. There's no need to seek love. There's nowhere to go to look for inner peace. You don't got to go nowhere. It's already here with you. So whenever you notice, since it's already here with you, and if you start to feel like you can't feel it, like you can't feel love, or you feel lonely, or you don't feel peace, that's telling you, because see, all of that stuff is here. It's already with you. So when you can't feel it, that means that your consciousness is distracted. That's the only reason. So the only thing you ever need to know to keep the soul in conscious alignment is don't let the mind run everywhere it wants to go. If you do that, it will bring you out of that alignment, and it will make you unaware of your peace. So let me tell you what is happening. I'm going to give you an example. I will take I will take this pen, right? So say for instance, this pen is with me, right? It's with me. And it's right here, right? It's right here. And I say, I need a pen, with a pen in my hand. I need a pen. Where's my pen? Where is my pen? You know what? I'm gonna go upstairs. I think my pen is upstairs. Yep, it has to be upstairs. See, when I'm doing that, it means that my mind has put its focus elsewhere. My mind is already got an idea that I don't have a pen. And so now I think I gotta go look for one, when all that I need to do is bring my awareness back to myself and look at the pen. Right? So I don't know if that was the best way to describe it, but it was the best I could do. I was trying. I'm trying to make it simple and plain. Okay? So you never, love and peace, inner peace, fulfillment, happiness, contentment, all of that is already always with you. When you're not experiencing it, ain't because it's gone. See, people have it backwards. And when you don't feel peace or you don't feel love, you think it left you. No. You left it. You left it. It was already with you. You already had it. But you let your mind go somewhere that disconnected you from your awareness of it. So that is the number one thing. That is the only thing that keeps you in conscious alignment. Everything else is tools that you use as your excuse to redirect your mind back home, back to the awareness and connection with yourself, which is good. Anything that takes you back home is a good ride. Okay, but all I'm saying is it wouldn't be necessary. You could bypass that if you can become aware that you left and just bring yourself back. Now, let's see. Anything else? I think that is all. I think I've answered everybody's questions. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Let me see here. So people were kind of wondering a lot about the changes that are coming, what I'm going to be doing differently. I'm still going to be bringing the information. The difference is going to be, though, the look. You know, it's more bright, colorful. You're going to see me more. I'm going to show my face instead of doing the videos where it's just my voice. That kind of thing, you know. So yeah, it's not going to be like I'm not going to I'm not going to deliver what I'm known for, which is that information that shifts paradigms, the information that brings you back into that connection and wholeness and awareness with yourself, and, you know, the things that breaks you out of your illusions and, you know, get you more in alignment. I'm still going to do that. It's going to be the same old thing as it pertains to that. Let me see. Where's the... Yeah, so I know a lot of people were wondering about that. Let me see here. Okay, so somebody else did a comment about breaking toxic generational family cycles. A. Marie did a question just now about how do you break toxic dysfunctional family cycles, and wanted me to go more in depth with that. Okay, here's the thing. When it comes to breaking, like, the real core root of it with generational curses and cycles is thought process. Okay? What causes generational toxic cycles and family quote unquote curses is always a certain program that the family is running. So it is going to start with not thinking like your family. You're going to have to break out of their program. Okay? So if you have, even if you had, let's say for instance, you had a generational curse of poverty, right? Everybody's poor down the line. Your family everybody's been poor for the last 100 years, right? Okay, well, that's 500 years, 1,000 years, whatever, right? Just a long line of poverty. You will find that within that family, there's going to be a lot of poor thought processes that have been handed down that continue that curse. And it would be, things like the family teacher, money don't grow on trees, money is hard to come by. They're programming the family down the line that there's not more possible, right? So breaking that curse starts with having a mind that is open to something outside of what the family has believed and reiterated and programmed into the next generation. And they've been doing it for generations. So it is basically a rebellion against the mindset of the family in whatever area that is in. Okay, so there is no such thing as a toxic family cycle or generational curse that does not have something to do with the programming and the way the family thinks. And if it's toxic and it's dysfunctional, you got to know it's wrong. Okay, and see, what happens is there's a program that even runs that says, see, some people get caught up in these generational curses because they're running another program that says if it's your family, you got to go with what your family is doing. You cannot, like, you're bad, or you're turning your back on your family, or you're doing the wrong thing if you are not going along with what the family thinks. Okay? So then when people run that program, it makes it even harder for them to come out of any of the generational curses or toxic cycles because they have a loyalty to the cycle. So the loyalty to the dysfunctional and toxic family is going to give you a loyalty to the curse. You understand? So that's the first thing, is having a loyalty to the source within you, God within you, the universe within you, whatever you want to call it. Have your loyalty to you and your journey and your path first. And that's the number one way to begin to break out of that, because then you will be open to rejecting beliefs that won't resonate with you. And if you are the one who's meant to break the curse, there's going to be something in you saying, this ain't right. This ain't right. But if you have a program running that's saying you cannot follow, because your loyalty goes to the family first, then you will just continue down the cycle. And then we'll have to see if maybe your kids can actually come out of the program and break the curse and start a new come on, look, see, that's the energy. Look, new that's the energy of it. I can't think of the word, but that's the energy of it, a new breaking out. Oh my, that was good and that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I miss you guys. I'm getting back into recording. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. Okay? So, but yeah, that's what I do. For any of you who are looking for a paradigm shift, that's me. I'm the paradigm shifter. I'm the soul doctor, okay? I shift your paradigm. It don't matter what area you need to shift in. My boot camps do that. If you can't afford to work with me yourself, get my boot camps. They shift paradigms in whatever area, and this is why I'm going to continue to put them out and shift paradigms on different subjects for those of you who aren't able to work directly with me, which is the most powerful way to shift your paradigm. But if you can't do that, you can do it piece by piece by collecting all the boot camps, okay? shift your paradigm. All right, guys, that was a wonderful Q&A. I had fun with you guys. I love you guys so much, so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.